welcome to Hair Nerd Happy Hour.
Right. Hello,
So,
hello. Hi,
we
Hair
are going to
Nerd.
be hanging out with Cassandra tonight. Hello.
There we go.
All right.
We did it.
So,
I'm so happy.
Cassandra's at
Can
home
you hear me?
now. I'm at home too. So recently you opened up a new salon space. How's that going?
Really well. Actually, I'm in a small studio, so it's just a double space, but I just made a transition early this year and decided to focus on doing a little bit more content and education and stepping away from full-time behind the chair. So that's new since about January. So it's been exciting. It's been really exciting.
Nice. And it's still in Florida.
Yep, I'm in Tampa. Yes, and I'm still working. Actually, this year I got announced as Redken's new brand ambassador. So there's 4 of us. So that's been a really cool thing for 2018 as well.
Nice. Oh, it looks like there's
an echo.
Oh,
how about now?
I think it's okay. I don't know. Are you guys still hearing an echo? Oh, yeah, there is one. I can hear it too. So, okay, so you just joined Redken as a brand ambassador. What does that, what does that look like? What does that entail?
Well, it's really cool because I feel like a lot of companies are kind of reaching out and reaching into independent education or things like that, where people are really representing the companies in a different spectrum. I've used Redken and loved it for about 2 years now, and it's just been a very organic development. So I get to go to shows with them, go to events, and get to really just do some education with them, which I love. Education is something that's one of my big passions, especially something I want to delve in 2018. So I was just at Hair Love Retreat, where Redken was a sponsor for that, in Zion National Park, which is amazing. One of the most beautiful places I've ever been. I got to work center stage with Justin and Hugo at ISSE, which was a great experience. And I got to be in the backstage with Sam Villa and all kinds of fun stuff. So the other 4 ambassadors are Sylvia, Cassandra, Keating, and Elizabeth Faye. So the 4 of us get to do all kinds of fun stuff with Redken.
That's awesome. So with some of the education that you're doing, what is that going to look like for the rest of the year?
So I'm doing a couple different things. So I'm hosting my first local workshop here in Tampa in May. So May 21st. It's based around color corrections. And so I'm going to be trying to host about 3 to 4 more of those for the rest of the year. And then I'm doing some other educational events with some of my friends. Jenny Strebe and I are doing a show at Premiere Orlando. We'll be on the main cut and color stage on Sunday together, and we'll be doing style and color together again, like we did last year. But the cool thing that we're doing this year is that most of our segment is going to be Q&A. And that's kind of turned into my favorite thing to do recently, is really just sitting down and talking about color versus necessarily going in and doing all these big long demos, especially with color correction. I feel like there's only so much you can show because every individual is so specific, but there's a lot of principles you can talk about or generalities with color corrections that I can really we can just talk about as colorist to colorist. And that's what we did at Hair Love Retreat, which was really cool. I had an hour-long class, and I literally just sat on a director's chair and hosted a full hour of Q&A with everyone. And it was just really cool. We talked about super nerdy stuff like color removers and color chemistry, color theory, and just went hard into all of that. And that's what I really love to do. So I feel like at the end of the day, we all can benefit from having more of discussions versus just classes. So that's kind of my main focus with education. And really what I discover is that I can make all the plans in the world, but new opportunities and new things keep coming in, and I just keep saying yes. And it's a lot of fun things happening this year. So
It's amazing what happens when you say yes, right?
It's amazing what happens when you say yes, right? Yeah, absolutely.
So like I know that what was really fun was when you were in LA a couple months ago. We went to Salon Mix and you kind of did a sit down and you did a Q&A kind of style and you really just got to talk the chance to talk to people and I felt like you were really able to like really interact with a lot more people would like you said demo.
Yeah. I
Is
feel
that
like
kind of
that
some
for
stuff
me,
that
that
you're doing?
yeah, I feel like that will always at least be incorporated in a big part of my workshops because I feel like I don't know, I feel like the strength that you have, especially talking about color corrections, like I said, like is more so about getting to like the nitty gritty of what people want to know. And I feel like sometimes with demos, it limits your scope of information so much. And I think they're very valuable, but I think sometimes in shorter class frames, like something like we did at Salon Mix, like just having that sit down discussion and just answering questions that hairdressers want to know, it adds so much more value to it. And like, I know a lot of other people on social, like we get questions and sometimes the questions are so in depth that you can't necessarily respond via Instagram or direct message very accurately or very well. And so just taking the
Yeah.
opportunities to be able to have a conversation, I think it allows you to go a little bit more in depth and more detailed. Like I love sharing as much color information as I can, but sometimes to try and type an answer out on Instagram is very difficult, especially
Yeah.
in a color service. So I take any opportunity I can to have those kind of discussions. And like, I love when people go like super like hair nerd with me on that. Like, it makes me so happy. So,
That's awesome. So you have a class coming up soon, don't you?
yeah, May 21st. So this month. Yeah.
Nice.
In the middle of 5 other trips, I think I have by the end of this month.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Definitely
I
overloaded
know.
it.
A little bit, but it's fine. It's all good stuff, all fun stuff.
So tell
So,
us a little bit more about the new salon space.
so it's pretty simple. It's just in like a salon suite building. I got a double space, so it's got 2 stations, and I have a filming setup there. So I created like a backdrop and did some lighting. I was supposed to be there tonight, but then it got too late, and I was like, I don't want to leave. So, but no, it's really nice. It's small enough where it's manageable for me, but it's big enough where I can do all the things that I need to do. I'm only taking clients 1 week out of the month, so it's perfect for that. But then it gives me space to have to create my content. I have a little office in there, so it's my nice little haven, and I got to do a little painting and decorating, which I love to do. So it's fun. It's perfect for what I need right now.
That's awesome. So are you going to be filming tutorials there or any education or anything like that?
All of it. Like I'm gonna try and do. I've filmed a couple different things. I just have to get on the ball and learn how to actually edit videos because I have 3 different tutorials filmed right now. I just haven't put them together yet. I've done a couple Facebook Lives there. I have a photo set up, things like that. So it's kind of prepped for all of that, and it's kind of secluded in a little corner, so it's nice and quiet, which is perfect. But yeah, so I've got the space to do pretty much whatever I need to do with filming. I'd love to have some like collabs go on in there, get some people in to Florida and come work with me and have some fun and just kind of do whatever really. Like it's a free space to just create, and I love that like a lot of other people are doing that too. They're creating space to not only do hair but to create content, and I think that that's really valuable for where we're at right now.
Yeah. So who would your top 3 people be that you collaborate with?
Collab with? Oh geez. Let's think. Well, I mean, I've got to collab with Jenny Strebe quite a bit on stage. We've done some shows together, and we created a collection in Canada with Tracy Barrett, Jenny Strebe, and I, which was super fun. But I'm always down to do that again. We're actually going to be together the end of this month to create some content and do some fun things and kind of prep for our stage show in June. So she's definitely on my list for any future collaborations. And then I got to spend some time with KL, who's Mermacorn Hair online, and then Lo Wheeler from California at Hair Love Retreat, and we had a blast together. And it's really hard to pick three because like we made such like at Hair Love Retreat, like it was such like a little love fest of hairdressers. It was amazing. And so I feel like I really like got to connect with a lot of really cool people there. I met Rachel Ringwood from Miami who talks about like hairdresser wellness, and then it was in our house we had like Shelly Gregory was there, and like there was just so many amazing people there. Chanel Moreno from Arizona, and it's just like Elizabeth, of course, who put the whole thing on. Everything was just so amazing. So it's like to pick three, I'm like, can I pick like three groups of 10 maybe that I could collab with? Because it was such a cool experience, and like we all got to connect. And I think when you get into that kind of networking and connection where you make those kind of bonds and friendships, like the opportunity for collaboration, like it just sparks so many ideas. I'm like, we could do cutting here, we could do style here, color there. So it was pretty amazing. So I can't pick three, sorry. But,
And so Hair Love Retreat, I just from watching the pictures and everything that happened on social, I'm so jealous. I want so bad. It was like the perfect Pinterest like like retreat style. It was beautiful. I can only imagine the kind of inspiration and stuff out of it.
it was really like a wonderful experience. It was tough for this Florida girl to be in the dry weather and in the mountains. Like I'm so used to sea level, my ears were popping, but once I got over that whole initial like panic of not knowing what to do with elevation, like when you looked around and saw everything around you, it was probably one of the most gorgeous places I've ever been in my whole life. Like to be surrounded by like massive rocks like that, like makes you feel very small. But it was really cool because I mean, did Elizabeth Faye, she did such an amazing job setting it up, and like I just have to give her a lot of credit because she did it really on her own as an individual without like a company behind her. And she did have sponsors, but like the initial idea and the setup and everything like that, like she did such an amazing job. And so we were all like in this big mansion, like there was a few different houses we stayed at, but we all kind of came together, had dinner together in the mansion. People did sunrise yoga and classes on a patio. Like it was amazing. It was a wonderful experience, and I think that they're over half sold out for 2019 already. So, and they just launched it. So, if you guys want to go, you better get your tickets now.
Right? Count me in.
Yeah, right.
So what kind of shows and things are you going to be at this year? Like if people want to come and meet you and talk to you, where are you going to be at?
So I'm actually going to be visiting the Orbe Atelier this weekend in Brooklyn. So I'll be there on the 7th. So if anybody's going to be there, I'll see them there. Just as an observer, just hanging out. Gordon Miller and I actually did some video footage for them on just some social media stuff. So I had to go see myself on the big screen and see. So I'm excited for that. So I'll be there in Brooklyn on the 7th. And then, of course, Premiere Orlando the first weekend in June. Jenny and I will be on the cut and color stage on Sunday, and then I'll be doing a hairbrain panel on Sunday as well. And I'll be there with Redkin and possibly with Framar. So I could be on a couple different booths. So you'll find me running around like a crazy person at Premiere. What other shows do we have coming up? Oh, I'll be at the Hairbrain Teach-In LA on the 23rd, which is really cool because it's an all color focused teach-in. So that's really exciting. And then trying to think. I think that's it for now for shows. So that's where you can find me. And then my workshop in Tampa. I have a couple people requesting classes in LA and New York. So I'm kind of hoping to make that happen by the end of this year too, which would be really amazing.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
fun stuff.
Yeah. So just kind of putting it out there, if people don't follow media, where can they find you?
You can find me at Cassandra Platinum, all one word, Platinum, on Instagram and Facebook. Yep.
You might as well just change your last name at this point.
You know, I thought about that already because, like, there's been a couple times where it's just been printed Cassandra Platinum, and I'm like, well, maybe my last name should just change to Platinum now. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk with us and hang out.
Yes, I love the hair nerds. I love Annie Banani.
Well, we love you. So. And I miss you so much.
I know. I miss you too. We need to have our LA slumber party again.
Yes, please. For anyone that doesn't know, Cassandra stayed with me for almost a week, and it was like the best week of my life.
It was, yeah. We practically became roommates. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind at all. So.
Yeah, awesome.
All right. Well, I know that it's late there, so I appreciate you hanging out.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for watching. Good night.
Thanks, guys. Bye.